Lamentations 4. G-BOM. G. God is wrathful against sin, and his wrath consumes. Verse 11. The Lord scatters sinners with his very presence. Verse 16. B. Big thing. What was beautiful has become desperately sick as a result of God's judgment. O. Other things. A lament over the state of Zion, verses 1 to 12. A confession of the sins of Zion, verses 13 to 20. And Edom is threatened, while Zion is comforted, verses 21 to 22. M. Memorize. Chapter 4, verse 5. Those who ate delicacies are desolate in the streets. Those established in crimson embrace ash pits. Now here's the text of Lamentations 4 from the NASB with slight alterations. How dark the gold has become! How the pure gold has changed! The sacred stones are poured out at the head of every street. The precious sons of Zion, weighed against fine gold, how they are regarded as earthen jars, the work of a potter's hands. Even jackals offer the breast, they nurse their young. The daughter of my people has become cruel, like ostriches in the wilderness. The tongue of the infant cleaves to the roof of its mouth because of thirst. The little ones ask for bread, but no one breaks it for them. Those who ate delicacies are desolate in the streets. Those established in crimson embrace ash pits. For the iniquity of the daughter of my people is greater than the sin of Sodom, which was overthrown as in a moment, and no hands were turned toward her. Her consecrated ones were purer than snow. They were whiter than milk. They were more ruddy in bones than corals. Their polishing was like lapis lazuli. Their appearance is blacker than soot. They are not recognized in the streets. Their skin is shriveled on their bones. It is withered. It has become like wood. Better are those pierced with the sword than those pierced with hunger, for they flow away, being stricken for lack of the fruits of my fields. The hands of compassionate women boiled their own children. They became food for them because of the destruction of the daughter of my people. The Lord has accomplished his wrath. He has poured out his fierce anger, and he has kindled a fire in Zion, which has consumed its foundations. The kings of the earth did not believe, nor did any of the inhabitants of the world, that the adversary and the enemy could enter the gates of Jerusalem. Because of the sins of her prophets, the iniquities of her priests, who have shed in her midst the blood of the righteous. They wandered, blind, in the streets. They were defiled with blood, so that no one could touch their garments. Depart, unclean, they cried of themselves. Depart, depart, do not touch. So they fled and wandered. Men among the nations said, they shall not continue to dwell with us. The presence of the Lord has scattered them. He will not continue to regard them. They do not lift up the faces of the priests. They do not favor the elders. Yet our eyes failed. Looking for our help was useless. In our watching, we have watched for a nation that could not save. They hunted our steps so that we could not walk in our streets. Our end drew near. Our days were full, for our end had come. Our pursuers were swifter than the eagles of the sky. They chased us on the mountains. They waited in ambush for us in the wilderness. The breath of our nostrils, the Lord's anointed, was captured in their pits, of whom we have said, under his shadow we shall live among the nations. Rejoice and be glad, O daughter of Edom. who dwells in the land of Uz. The cup will come around to you as well. You will become drunk and make yourself naked. The punishment of your iniquity has been completed, O daughter of Zion. He will exile you no longer. He will punish your iniquity, O daughter of Edom. He will expose your sins.